Welcome, everyone, to our latest version of our Learn Fast webinar series here in November of 2023. This is the last one that we'll do this year. This is number 165 since we started doing these back in early 2020. So we've been doing a good number of these, having a good time. Lots of really good information that we've been sharing. Today is no different. We're going to talk about Ray Studio 3 updates. Ray Studio 3 is the software where we do all the analysis, configuration analysis, track maps, everything. But we're going to focus on the analysis piece today. We've got Emiliano is joining us here today and is heads up the software team in Italy, where they work nonstop on fixing bugs and creating new features and adding new functionality. And so while we're going to focus a little bit today on the suspension analysis, which is a new function to Ray Studio 3 analysis, there's been a lot of other updates as well. And Emiliano is going to go over those and talk about some of the differences, some of the updates that have been done. And we will be happy to take questions as we're doing this live today from the folks that are watching. If you're watching, make sure that you don't put your question into the chat. Open up the question and answer box and type them into there, and we will see if we can get to some questions if there are any questions. And the last thing that we'd like to do is everything that we're going to talk about today is available in the current version that is available for you to download. Prior to this webinar being taped here today, Ray Studio 3 has an update that is available for you. Go ahead and if you haven't updated it this morning, go ahead and update it, and all the stuff that you see will be available for you. And the other part of this is we're going to use some data to do this, and it's been provided by Matt at trailbreak.com, Matt Romanowski, and it is got shock data in it. So if you want to try some of the different things that we talk about today, and you do not have AIM data that has shock sensor data in it, that data is available for you if you wish. That will be linked in the chat box here today. And if we're watching this later on YouTube, all the links that we talk about today will be linked in the description box for this video on YouTube. So a presentation is also available as a link, is a PDF, and that will be available in the description below as well on YouTube. Okay, we're going to talk about Ray Studio 3 updates. We're going to look at 5 or 6 different things that have been updated, and then we're going to jump in about the second half and talk about suspension analysis, which is the new feature. And we're going to do all of this with our longtime co-host. This is his 20. I looked back yesterday as I was preparing. This is his 21st time of joining us and co-hosting. Emiliano, who is the team lead for the software development side of AIM in Milan, Italy. He's joining us here late in his evening after work. Always good to have him here. Emiliano, thank you for joining us again.
Thank you for having me. It's not that late. It's just before dinner in Italy, but
dinner
yeah.
time. Yeah, exactly. It's
It's a pleasure.
After work hours though. So
yeah, after work, but it's always a pleasure to be here. You all know, I think, that this page is the one I like the last, but yeah,
exactly.
It's me.
It's
that's my career. It's always the same.
Yeah, exactly. So we're not going to talk about it too much, other than I like to look at the pictures and we change those up. Emiliano likes to change those up a little bit.
Yeah,
The image on the right
to
there
show
is
that also in Italy we have ovals, and I run over them.
Yeah, Emiliano has been training and carrying some data tools with him. So I don't see any real high speed spots down there, but I see some room for
because
improvement.
I'm slow.
Yeah, I see some room for improvement, right? So, and then
I'm working on that.
And then a little bit of what Emiliano's desk looks like as he does a webinar on the picture on the right. So that's kind of always fun to see. So
yeah.
Emiliano's been great for us. You don't even know how valuable he is. We get him. he makes himself available for me lots of times after he gets home from work, and we chat about different things and different ideas, and very much appreciated all the hard work that he puts in, and then goes into the office and works his full shift. So very 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 cool. So what we're going to talk about today is any number of things, and we're going to do it a little bit different this time. I'm going to give the control over uh, to Emiliano. He's going to have the presentation. He's going to jump in and out of the presentation. So it'll be a little bit different where we look at something really quickly, 2 or 3 slides, and then Emiliano will go into Ray Studio 3 and demonstrate those. So if you have some questions as he's doing some things, make sure you throw them into either the chat box. We'll probably be able to watch it a little bit, but those of you that are here live, or put it in the question and answer box, and we can answer some questions pretty quickly. But you have to be fast at it, because we're going to move on. We can't really go back in the presentation. We're gonna use up our full hour today. There's a lot of cool updates in Ray Studio 3. So with that, I'm going to stop my share on my screen, and Emiliano is going to share his screen, and we are going to jump in. There you go,
Okay.
Emiliano. We do see it, and you are off and running.
Okay, this is my side of the presentation. As you said, we are going to go a little bit forward and backward from presentation to Ray Studio 3, and this is the first one. I bet most of you already saw this new feature. We modified the installer software of the Ray Studio 3. The installer is now lighter. It's roughly 50% of the original installer, the size, and it executes faster. It executes in roughly 30% of the original installer. This because the installer now includes a lower number of graphic resources of our devices. The only thing I'd say is that the new installer is better to be executed with web connection, because it automatically goes double checking your configurations, and it downloads the resources you need while you install the Ray Studio 3. Otherwise, this operation is available within Ray Studio 3 itself, and it's pretty straightforward. But if you install the software with the internet connection available, it will do it automatically without you having to do anything.
Emiliano, we do have a quick question from Jeff Wasilko that is in this area. Maybe we can just wait and show him when we go into live data. But he talks about for those of us who need to support different devices, Jeff is a supporter of our hardware with many different users. That preloading all of the different stuff that you may not need typically for a person like that, or a tech support person.
I'll show you.
Show us inside of Ray Studio when you get there how to install everything when you're back with the internet. So
the possibility is there, absolutely, and I'll show you in a few minutes.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next slide.
Let me move to the next slide. Okay. This is a feature that is there since some months, I think, before summer. But roughly once per week, we receive the question. Our support received the question about this possibility, and so I'm going to repeat it here in the webinar, so maybe we can get a wider audience. They ask for how to move from a big movie to a small movie with maybe only a single part of the lab, or with the best lab that can be shared easily on media platforms. It is available. There is while you look at the movies within Ray Studio 3, if you look at the top left corner of the movie window, there's a little scissor, and clicking on that, you can you can save a small file, a small video with only this interval included into the video. So you zoom in exactly where you want to start from, where you want to start from to where you want the movie to finish, and you clicking that scissor, you get a small file out of the big one. The original one will not be modified, so you can still keep it for a complete analysis.
Yeah. Fantastic function where it just, when we first had the SmartyCam 3s, it was doing just the MOV files, and now the MP4s have been working for a while. What
Yep.
and as Emiliano said, what's cool about it is it follows the rest of what Ray Studio 3 always does. No matter where you're zoomed in at, that it's the data is synchronized and the video is synchronized with it as well. So if you open up and
Yep.
see a lap and a half and that's what you want to cut out, put that into the view of your time distance plot, push the button, and that's the video that gets cut. And what it does is it just comes up and it puts it in the file folder by default, into the file folder where the data is stored. So it's there looking, ready for you, and much smaller. Sometimes it's a driver coach that you want to give a
Yep.
lap to, social media, tech. If there was some sort of an accident, you don't want to give them the entire video. You can give them just
exactly.
a small piece. So very, very powerful.
Exactly. Yep. Let's move into the new feature. We added some different way to place several channels in the same plot. I'm speaking of these top right corner buttons that are available in most of our layouts, from time distance to scatter plot to histograms and so on. And we started from the three plot placements that we already had: overlapped, mixed, and tiled, and we added the two new ones that are corner and corner overlapped. These two added plot placement help you when you want to plot the data coming from the four corners of a vehicle, or two corners in case of a bike, front and rear. If you want to place, say, wheel temperatures, shock suspensions, shock potentiometers, brake temperatures, whatever, if you into the channel function you select that is front left, front right, and so on channel, this channel will be automatically placed in the correct corner of your view, so to be of immediate perception for their use. I'm going to show it live in a few seconds. Let me introduce other two things, and we will go live. Speaking about alarms, channel alarms, we already had the minimum and maximum alarms. Then we were asked a question: why can I get an alarm for data in between two values? And so the idea was to manage it using always the minimum and maximum settings, but you needed to flip them. So you insert as a maximum value a value that is below the minimum, and so you will get the alarm in between. Looks difficult. If you listen to my words, it's very easy to do it live, and I'm gonna show it in a second as well. Let me go to the next feature, and then we go live. We added the possibility of moving the slices, the plotted slices, also with the keyboard. Before this, with the keyboards, you could operate the zoom with the up and down keyboard on the up and down arrow key on the keyboard, and you could move the cursor with the left and right arrow on the keyboard. Now, if you If you keep the shift button pressed with the left and right, you have the possibility to move the slice. Let me show it. I think it's easier. The three features that we just spoke about are the new placement for the plots. These the three that we already had, but let me show you in a time distance plot. If you show the four shock potentiometers of the car, clicking this button, that is the possibility to show channels according to the vehicle corners, you see that you have in top left the front left, in top right you have the front right shock, and the same in the bottom part for the rear shocks.
What drives that, Emiliano? What drives that to make that happen?
Sure. Go into the channel settings and look here. You now have in the RS3 the channel function. We have several functions available, and you choose them when you are in the configuration. While we are configuring the device, this is a choice, but you can still be modifying them in case you forgot to do that you can still be modifying them into the analysis. If you select the correct function here, the channels can be plotted here automatically without you having as before to create four different time distance plots into the profile and to have I mean, yeah. I think this way we made the job easier for a lot of people.
Yeah, much more powerful and way quicker. So
yeah, absolutely. Let me jump back to the time distance window here, and you see that here I demonstrated the use of the maximum alarm. I added a maximum for 6,500 RPM, I think, and here is what you get. I just to make a demo, I created an in-between alarm for the steering position. So I went into the settings and I added a maximum value of -10 and a minimum value of 10. So you flip the values. And you can see that the steering position gets highlighted when the channel is in between. I think it's I think it can be useful in several situations.
I do too, since it was me that asked for it. And the and the like RPM, sometimes you want to know when you're between 4,000 and 6,000 RPM, and what we were able to do before was make it when it would only highlight when it was below 4 or above 6. And by flipping those two numbers, now you just get a highlighted area of it's inclusion, right? Or it makes it where it depends on how you want to see it. So I like it, and I appreciate that you've done it.
Yep. And the third thing we need to show is this. Just with arrow keys, you can move the cursor with up and down. You can modify the zoom. Then let me jump back. And using the shift button together with the left, you can move. You see the cursor stays where it is into the window, but the shown interval, the slice, is being moved accordingly.
This is going to be one of those that I think as people use this and learn it, it's going to become more valuable. At first, I've just become so used to, I click where I want to, and then I drag it into the middle of the window, right? Because it's not used to it. But this is going to be very powerful. You put the cursor in there, and now you're moving the data behind the cursor, and with the shift and the arrows, and it keeps the area of focus in the middle of your screen. I think it's going to be powerful. I think people will like to use that.
Yeah, we are looking for feedbacks, so just to know if it's appreciated or not. Let me jump back to the presentation so we can introduce, we can move, I'd say fast into the next feature. In case I'm too fast, just let us know. We improved the user interface for histograms. Let me start from the second bullet point. We increased the number of bins, the number of bars that are available. We arrived up to 30 in the previous version. We now can do 50 or 100. Another thing we added is that we can easily, in case you're using a histogram and you want to see, I mean, the minimum and the maximum values of the histograms are determined by the scaling of the channel. Happens that you set the scaling to values that are not the true minimum or the true maximum of the channel, and so the histogram could not be considering some outer points below the minimum and over the maximum. And we added the possibility to double check this very quickly, so you could decide to be enlarging the minimum and the maximum values. We added also these macro areas, additional percentages or additional counters on the top of the histogram, and I'm going to show in a minute how to use them. Another thing we added is the secondary channel histogram. So inside every single bar, for here it's an engine RPM histogram. So inside every single bar, you can compute a secondary. You can select a channel to compute a secondary histogram and have values divided in sub bars accordingly to the values of the second channel. I'll be explaining in a while. Just let me introduce another new thing. Here we have we added new operators in the channel report. Basically, these operators are the percentiles of the channel. The percentiles are being shown into the channels report as available item. Let me go back to the Ray Studio 3 to introduce them. Okay, here it is. Here is the histogram of the steering position. This because I already set the minimum and maximum alarms to do this additional percentage. Okay, let me check what it is, and let me show what it is. Steering position, you remember I added -10 and 10 as a minimum and maximum alarm, and these values goes determining the counters that are shown here. Okay, so in this histogram, the roughly 19%, here is a percentage. If you use time, here is number of seconds, and if you use counters, here you will be shown the number of samples, but here is in percentage. And so I'd say that 19% of the channel time was spent below -10, 35 roughly percent of the time of the lap was spent from -10 to 10, and 46% roughly was spent over 10. These are additional what I call them additional percentages. These can be enabled or disabled this way. This is what we already had for histogram, and if you set the minimum and maximum alarm for the channel, you get this possibility to show these additional percentages. Here, I added a quick command to move to lower number of bars. Let me go down to 10. You can see here what I'm referring to when I say outer values. You can see here that the histogram, the last bar is 0.8, and you may wonder if there are data over the maximum value of 150. Using these, you can double check it very quickly, because the histogram adds 2 extra bars, one on the right and one on the left, and you can see easily that those are 0 value. Here, maybe it's not clear. I'd like to modify it very quickly in the next versions. It's not from 150 to 155. This should be infinite. So it's all the values over the maximum, and these should be from 200 below 200. It's not to 235. What else? Okay. Let me add. Okay. So in the exactly. Okay, I was forgetting this colorizing feature for histograms. Here is the bars. The main bars are bound to GPS speed, while the inner bars are the TPS. So here it's always percentage. So roughly 50% of the no, it's more than 50. It should be 60 or maybe 65% of the time was spent at full throttle, while the remaining part was at a very low throttle. Here the distribution in a lower speed, the distribution is within more bars. How do you select this channel? In analogy with other windows like the scatter, I called it colorize, the colorize channel or color channel. Just click on the menu and select. You can select the RPM, and the histogram gets computed automatically, as well as for the main histogram. Also for the secondary, you can choose a different number of bars to get tiniest to get a tinier.
Histograms within inside of histograms is a very powerful tool to colorize things. Some of us look at things in different ways, and having those multiple colors and different ways of looking at the data is powerful. So appreciate that.
And within the channels report, I added these operators just to do a little bit some more statistics on the values you plot. Here we have lap statistics, and we have a minimum, as we always had. We have the maximum. We have the average that's in between, and we added 95 and 99 percentile. This can be helpful when you have when you maybe find yourself against a channel that can be having some spikes, and you want to cut spikes away. You want to cut the importance of spikes away. So say the spikes are below the 1%, so 1% of the total samples of your channel. Selecting the 99% you are shown a number that is not a maximum value, but the maximum, but it's not a spike value. So it can be it can become handy when you have noisy channels. It happens. We all know it happens, and
especially RPM and maybe some temperatures that sensors maybe are going bad, things like that.
Yeah, exactly. Let me jump back to the presentation and add two new things that very likely most of the audience already noticed. We have this button that we use for selecting, for having RS3 automatically selecting a number of labs. They can be, we added the possibility to select the first N labs or the last N labs, and this can become handy if you want to double check how your vehicle behaves just out of pits, or how your vehicle stabilizes in lap after lap. And instead, if you are looking for performance, you can select the best N laps, so the best lap, the best 3 laps, or the best 5, or the laps in which you performed the best splits, selecting the split itself. So if you are analyzing data out of a corner, you can select the best. You can select the laps in which you did those corners are the best. Let me move into a new feature that is time compare on maps. You know that time compare is not a channel. It cannot be a channel because its values vary with the reference lap. So if you select one lap as a reference, you get some values. If you select the other one, you get other values. So for this reason, time compare cannot be a channel. We already had the possibility into the map to show the value of a channel. In this case is GPS speed. We added the possibility to show the time compare. Let me move back to the Ray Studio 3 to illustrate this. Okay, here it is. Here you have speed displayed on the map, and you can select either channel, and the colors used here on the maps are choosable into the channel settings. Here we have, I mean, for selecting the time compare, we need more than one lap to be shown there. Very likely, if you select only 2 laps, it's the best. Here you can see that according to which lap is shown, is used as a reference, the values of time compare vary. Okay, so for this reason, it cannot be displayed as a channel here, but now we added this, and you can go corner by corner to see which where you gain or where you lose. You gain where the channel is blue, you lose where the values are displayed in red. Another thing I'd like to say about these time compare being plot here is that here in the time distance plot, you can select how you want the time compare to be displayed. If you want the total gap from the starting of the lap to this point, or if you want to display the what we call differential time compare. You get a positive number when you gain, or a negative number when you lose. Here on the map, the only way to display the time compare is the differential. We tried different. We tried to give the two possibilities also here, but we immediately realized that coloring it's almost unperceivable. You cannot see clearly where you gain or where you lose. Instead, with the differential mode, the effect is immediately is of immediate perception. Let me jump back to show you the selection of the labs that I already used. Here, if you click the select the best 3 labs, these are your best labs. While if you, I mean, the first and the last are easy to see. Less easy, maybe this one. I want to find the 3 labs in which I did this straight at my best. Okay, the third straight I selected, and these are the labs in which I did that straight line at my best. Or let me choose the 3 labs in which I did at my best the corner 10. Corner 10 is this one. Okay, it's the
It's
same.
with limited numbers of laps, it's going to stay kind of the same, but
Yeah, here in this case we have only 5 laps, 3 of which are very fast. So
yeah, relative to the others. The I have found this function. It's not something I asked for or thought of, but this has become my go-to way of looking if I want to look at the carousel at Road America, and you got a full lap, and you've got lap times, and then you've got 20 laps you're looking at. I want to find the best 5 times I went through there, and that has become a tool that I use a lot. So hopefully all of you will give that a shot to selecting laps based on the segments, your best segment times. That's very, very powerful.
yeah, and if you using this checkbox, it's another thing we changed. Using this checkbox, you can disable a lap, and that one will not be considered by the best by the feature that looks for the best 10 laps. So in case you had a lap that is slow because you cut a piece of track, and so you made a very quick lap, you can disable it, and it will never be considered for the selection as a
Interesting.
as a best lap.
Yep.
Okay, this is a feature. Let me jump back to the presentation. So I think we have time to introduce the other two features. It's one of the building blocks of the suspension analysis. It's the frequency analysis we already had in RS2, and it was missing according to the feedbacks that we had. Was missed by a lot of people, so we added it back. We added it back as I was saying, mostly for the suspension analysis, but as well as a feature by itself. What to say about the frequency analysis? We use for computing the lines here. We use the DFT, that is an algorithm that is a little bit quicker than the FFT. That should be reference 1. The DFT is a little bit quicker, and we check it against the FFT, and the results are pretty similar. So we kept the faster one. The plot, the horizontal axis of the plot, is using a logarithmic scale, so it's not linear. This because as I'm going to show it in a few seconds, is because it allows us to have a better visualization of data. And for the vertical axis, we use the DFT module. There are several computations that can be done here. the most used of two are power spectral density and module. We choose the module. Again, the results are pretty the same because also the spectral density is computed over the module, so the result cannot be but similar. But in case of need, we can customize. We can tailor the view a little bit. We start with this, and we see what the feedbacks are. The one of the no, it's not the latest. We will see. We'll see in a minute. Feature I'd like to introduce is the suspension analysis, in which we take time distance plot, histograms, and frequency analysis, and we place them together into a single view dedicated to suspensions. Let's jump into the Ray Studio 3, and let me show the frequency. Let me use this channel as an example. It's a channel I built. I built a match channel of this kind. Okay, let me jump back to the best lab so to make it a little bit simple. It's a combination of two waves. One main wave, that is this one, and a secondary wave with a lower amplitude and a higher frequency. You see, this is exactly at 1 hertz, and this should be to my memory now, it's 10 hertz. It's a higher frequency. It happens, it varies faster than the main one, and its amplitude is lower. Let's go into the frequency analysis, and using this channel, okay, you can see this is the contribute to the FFT, or DFT. This is the contribute made by the main wave, the one that is slower. Okay, this is the contribute. It's exactly at 1 hertz, and its amplitude is represented here as a 3 point something. This is the contribute to the Fourier transform of the secondary wave. This is at 10 hertz, as I supposed before, and its amplitude is lower. So this, I think, it can help in understanding how the FFT shows you data with. I mean, saying that the total amount of information between the FFT and the time plot is the same. As a matter of fact, there are algorithms to move from the time to the frequency, and from the frequency back to time. So you are not losing information moving from the two words, but here you are showing information only in a different way. Here you show the contribute of every single frequency at the amplitude of every single wave. So you can imagine a time plot like the RPM one, the plot on the channel, the plot of a channel like RPM, as a combination of many waves at different frequencies, at different of different amplitudes. And if you go here and see it's computed the frequency, you can see this shape. So you can, if you take a wave made at 0.1 hertz of this amplitude, another one at 0.116 hertz at this amplitude, and you go back to the time plot and you build a match channel made of all of these waves, you can get the RPM back as it was. Another thing to notice here is that not all the channels stop at the same point. For instance, this channel is throttle position. It stopped at 5. This because the throttle position was computed at 10 hertz, was sampled at 10 hertz originally in time. And so when we come here to frequency, the contribute it can give all contributes arrive up to 1/2 of the sampling frequency. So it's up to 5 hertz. This channel that it's a match channel I built on purpose arrive up to 250 hertz because I built a match channel at 500 hertz. The same applies to this. Here you can see also how the logarithmic scale on the x-axis contributes to showing data a little bit more wide. So you have a frequency of 10 here. Here you have 100, and here you have 250. So it widens the curve a little bit, and it helps you using this tool. Let me add here. I will add it here on purpose. The suspension analysis tab is missing, and in a second I will explain why. I have in this session only channels coming from shock positions, shock absorbers. I have data from potentiometers. When you open the suspension analysis, the engine recognizes that you are missing the velocity windows, the velocity channels, and it asks you if you want to add them. If you want to add them, I mean, the reason for which the engine doesn't find the shock positions can be either because the velocity channels are missing, or because you created them as match channels, but you forgot to choose the correct function. So it looks if it finds a front right shock position channel, it looks for a front right velocity suspension velocity channel. So if it doesn't find it will this window will be prompted. In case you only have positions, you just need to leave these checkboxes flagged to get the velocity channels automatically computed and added as map channels. So if you go into your channels list, you will see these map channels added, and they will be available also in other views of the in other layouts. If I come down here, you see they are available, as well as if I come here into the corners. I jump back to this just to show. I promised I would have shown the last button of the plot placements. Here you selected just you selected the corners, and you see that all the channels are all the front right channels are displayed here. Using the last one, you get always the division in corners of the vehicles, but the channels are tiled for every corner. So I think this can be considered in some cases a nicer view. The same thing is available here. Corner tiled versus corner. Let me go into the histograms. Oh, let me stop just a second. We have a magic wand button here, and it's used to bring you back to this window. automatically computed channel do not display here. If you want to add your own channel, you just go to the math channel and add velocity channel of your own, and you unflag this and you click OK to take this automatic channel away. Okay, so leave them flagged, and you'll have them the default. Histograms, you have the same possibilities that you have that you already have with other histograms, the possibility of adding other bars, and the additional percentages possibility. These are not taken by the minimum and maximum values here, but they are taken by the log sheets, and I will show you in just 1 second. Other than this, the possibilities you have here with the histograms are basically the same. If not, here you can have. Let me find it. I don't remember where it is. I didn't prepare this, and I can't find it now.
What are you looking for?
The Gaussian bell.
Right, it's right at the bottom right now. Right at the bottom of the list. Nope, where you had the window. Right in the middle, upper. One more up. There you go.
Okay. There it is. Okay. This is the Gaussian bell. I mean, there are theories according to which the distribution of the velocity histograms should behave like a Gaussian bell, and to help in identifying which would have been the correct values according to these theories, we plot here a Gaussian bell, so to help you understand how your suspension behaves. Let's move another tab in. Okay, these are the position frequencies. I think I forgot, both for histograms and for frequencies, you can go to the settings and see and decide if you want to show not only velocity histograms but also position histograms. So you can show them. So you can have different computation for both position and velocity, and you can separate them, their contributes. These additional percentages and these Gaussian bell are available only on the velocity histogram. Again, if you want to give us a reason for adding it also here, just send us a feedback, and we can tune or adjust or tailor this layout. Let me jump back to the histogram, as I already introduced the frequency plot 1 minute ago. Let me jump back to have only the velocity histograms. Where do you insert the values for these additional percentages? You add them right here when you go into the log sheets. Okay, it plotted 3 times, but okay, this is a bug. Only one of these is the important. You add here. You can decide to have a threshold between low and mid speed for both compression and rebound, and to have also a threshold between mid and high velocities of the shock absorber, both for compression and for rebound. These are for the front part of the vehicle, and these are for the rear part of the vehicle. If you click here, you are prompted left and right, and and you may enter the values you need. Once you enter the values, the histograms are automatically recomputed, and you can go checking the values just zooming in. I think if there are no other questions, I think I will quickly introduce our last thing. This is this came in just 2-3 days ago. We had the possibility to build a math channel plugin. This is a very geeky part of the software. You can download it will be available as a public project on our website, or you can write us and we can get you the latest version. You can download a template C++ project in which you can define any math channel of your own, and RS3 will be computing math channel according to what is in the plugin. This might be useful for people who do not want to share their intellectual property on any math channel, or for other people who might decide to help or to provide math channels to their customer, to their friend, whatever. Since it's a very new feature, if you are interested in, just write us an email, and we'll explain better how you can do to create such a math channels. This is going into the software. This is available starting from math channel, but I mean, it's not a project. You need to have something already built to be displayed here. The person who will use the math channel will go selecting the DLL that you build, and they will be using the math channels that you create.
They get to see the final product, but not the actual.
Yeah, and that's on purpose. You is the person. If you are the person who builds such a plugin, you might decide you decided not to share how the channels are built to protect your intellectual properties.
But yet they see the final answer,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you can share
your user. If you are the one who builds such math channels, your users will not see what you do, but they will take benefit out of your job.
Perfect. I agree that I know there's any number of users that do create things like this, and they deserve to keep some of that to themselves. So this will be very good. Ray Phillips says he definitely likes that. So perfect.
Yeah, I think so.
Perfect. There was a lot that we went over there, and we're running out of time. So I will. One of the things that we will plan on in the future is coming in not just with this is the new function, how and here are the buttons to make it work. We will bring in some folks that understand suspension analysis, frequency analysis even more, where we can come in and say, okay, how do I use that function? Not just that the function is there and that it works, right? So there is a lot of information there that can be given. Emiliano went into just a taste of frequency analysis and how you might want to use it, and suspension analysis and how you might want to use it. But there's much more there to go into.
In the development, we were driven by them while developing features of the RS3 tree, and now they will show us how they use it.
Exactly. And I know it may feel a little bit frustrating at times because we just showed you some very, very cool icons and buttons and some things that are happening, but you may not know how to apply it. So obviously, one of our next steps will be to give you some tools to an understanding on how to apply it to your car. So we will do that in the near future. As Matt says, there are some books, Orge Seegers, Bob Knox. There's some really good information out there that you will be able to use your data and use these tools and come up with very, very powerful information. So, but we
Roger,
want to do it here as well.
yeah, I just was checking the question and answer box, and I saw that I didn't show a thing that Jeff asked
Okay.
uh, for the how to download the
That's right.
resources,
We
all
even chatted about it
the
just before we started, didn't we? So,
yeah.
so
Go
yeah, show that real quickly.
Yeah, go to the web updates page, and you see that now it's divided in two parts. The first one is firmware, and it's software and firmware, and exactly as it was before. And you have a second tab that is named display. And here you are shown that if you don't see any icon applied to the device, it means that the resource is already here. If you see an icon, it can be meaning that in this case it means that you are missing this the resource for, in this case, the MXP Strada. The icon can be yellow, and it means that the resources you have are simply old. Just click the download, and here in this case I'm downloading the resources for the MXP Strada. If you click download all, you simply download all of them without having to select anything more than this. Okay. In case you already downloaded all, you can choose a device. Just select the devices. In case you are at the track and you see a person who doesn't have such a resources, you can select. Okay, you confirm. You select the export feature. You confirm that you are exporting the resources, and that's all. And on the other side, you save into a file that is ZRES as an extension. If you save them on the other PC, you just need to click import and select the file you exported from this PC, and the job will be done. This is the
So there's a couple of options, but really for folks like Jeff, myself, Emiliano, Matt, Chloe on the motorcycle side who are going out and supporting people while you're at home before you go to the event, I would always just go to this page and
yeah.
download everything. If you only run a solo 2, there's really no reason for you to have all of that other information on your
Yeah.
on your computer. So just make sure the resources for what you need is there. So
Yeah.
that's what they did it for, and it really reduced the file size of the downloads that we have to download off the servers, and it makes it a whole lot faster for AIM to update the
And
executables to
also,
do that as well.
if you have all the resources already downloaded, I mean, when you run the installer, it downloads only those that changed, not all of them every time.
Right, exactly. So yeah, much more efficient for everybody, not just us as users, but for Emiliano and the team there that needs to put these things all together. So it's much more efficient.
And then I see a request for having the best lap always as a reference. I will double check. I
I
think
want that as well, Jeff. I was actually going to bring that up right at the end of the. I think that is there ought to be almost like a setting that the fastest lap is always the one that, when at least when you open it up and start it, and then you should be able to change away from it if you wish. But we do agree, so we will work on it. Yeah, and it sounded like Emiliano understood your question as well.
yeah,
So
absolutely, yes.
okay, perfect.
I
If
think I can
Emiliano,
stop share.
yep, stop your share there, and I will start mine, and we will close this up. Share screen, boom, boom, perfect. And there we go. The uh, again, a lot of information. We went through a ton here today, with half of the webinar being some new updated features and new updated functionality. Take a look at that if you need to go back and rewatch it, or download the presentation materials that were put into the chat box here if you're watching live, or if you're looking at this later on YouTube. The PDF of all of the slides are there. Just tons of information. We will continue on and come back with some more webinars that kind of cover especially the suspension analysis and the frequency analysis side. So we will be doing a little bit more on that. Um, all of these videos, of course, are going to end up on YouTube, where we always do. I'll work on this hard for the next couple of hours, get all this done, and get this one placed up there so everybody can watch it. And just tons of information there for things in the background. And by the way, the YouTube page, um, I'm working on some things to do to create some shorter videos and specific things, but there is a search bar there on there, and it does a pretty darn good job. If you were to type in suspension and just search out on the AIM YouTube site, it will thin it down to just to find the things that you're after. That search bar box works pretty good because in the description, I work pretty hard of making sure that the topics that are in that specific video are searchable. So use that search button. I know they're hour long or hour and 7 minute long webinars sometimes, and it's hard to find what you're after, but that search bar actually works pretty darn well. So do that and check out all the videos from previously. Customer support, as I always like to say, that AIM is a support company that happens to sell racing electronics, and I truly believe that. And we're out there all the time at different events, available for you to call us, email, do what you need to do. We want to make sure that you get the most out of the AIM hardware that you have. So. Give us a chance to give you the customer support that you deserve, and we will do that. Give us a holler. Uh, Here at the end, I know it's only about a week or so away, but we will be at the 2023 PRI show in Indianapolis with a booth. We're at the booth 3257. We're there every year and just enjoy ourselves a ton. All of our AIM techs will be there, including I think four of our friends from Italy are coming over, including Emiliano. So if you want to meet Emiliano in person, he'll be at the PRI show with us. So join us if you're in the Indianapolis area and you're at the PRI show. Make sure you drop by. It's a huge show that we always have such a great time. So make sure you do that. The next AIM Sports webinar, we do not do one at the during the holiday season. This year, the last Tuesday in December is December 26th, and so there will not be an official webinar. If you happen to click on a link and show up, we will be there. We've done that for the last 3 or 4 years. We start a webinar anyway, and we make it very, very relaxed and just have a good time and answer questions and tell stories and some other things. So if you happen to be around on the 26th, click on any of the links of any of your previous ones. You will join a webinar and we'll have a good time. But the next official webinar will be January 26th, the last Tuesday of January. It'll be the start of our 5th season of doing these, and of course the co-host is and the topic is to be announced, but probably will be in the software area and maybe in the suspension analysis area. Maybe we will see. We'll see what comes out of it. But join us. I have extended the webinars through all of 2024, so there will be one on the last Tuesday of every month in for the full next season. So look forward to seeing you guys all there. Contact information as usual. There's my email address if you need anything. Emiliano software at aim-sportline.com. Always happy to answer your questions and solve problems. Let us know if you need anything. Been a great time here today. This was a stressful one, brand new feature. It will be adjusted and tweaked. Emiliano will be all over it. If you have questions about it, make sure you always include the software at aim-sportline.com as part of that support email. You're going to find that then Emiliano and his team get that email right when I do as well, and we can solve these problems fairly quickly. Thank you, Emiliano. Thank you, Matt, for being in the webinar chat and answering questions and throwing links and stuff up there. Appreciate your help always. Emiliano, anything you'd like to kind of add as we're closing this one out?
As usual, I need to thank you all at AIM Sports. You're doing an amazing job as a support company, and it will be a pleasure for for me to handshake all of you personally at the PRI.
Yeah, perfect. Looking forward to having a good time with you for 3 days, and some nice dinners, and a little bit of
Yeah,
dinner
will
wine
be
as
fun.
well, right? So,
Will be fun.
yeah, absolutely. Perfect. I appreciated everybody that came and showed up. If you need anything, make sure you let us know, and we will see you all on the next one. Talk to you soon.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.